thought to yourself how a mere chainsaw has the power to combat all 4 horsemen at once, gaining enough notoriety to become titled the hero of hell? Because let's be honest, yeah, chainsaws are scary, I guess. I mean, I certainly wouldn't want someone chasing me down with one, that's for sure. But are they really scarier than guns, hell, control, or even death?
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
So how could it be that Pochita is stronger than all of these devils? After all, chainsaws weren't even invented until 1830. That's only 167 years before Chainsaw Man takes place. In the grand scheme of things, that is no time at all to build up enough fear to combat primal fears such as darkness, which mankind has dreaded since the dawn of time. So, what gives? What is Pochita hiding? Well, by the end of this video, you will see Pochita and Denji's story in an entirely new way, as I am about to blow your mind as I reveal to you his true identity. Because throughout Chainsaw Man's entire story,
we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
Pochita's powers, intentions, and goals are by nature difficult to understand and predict, making him an absolute wild card as we've been shown. But if he's not the Chainsaw Devil, then why has he got a big ass chainsaw poking out of his head? Well, I mean, you could say the same about the Darkness Devil. Why has my guy got a big ass sword if he's not the Sword Devil, huh?
No. He's got a point.
These little pieces of evidence tell us that devils acquire secondary powers as well. For example, despite being the control devil, Makima had the power to manipulate space-like bullets. In fact, one way for devils to get different powers is by consuming parts of other devils. In chapter 65, we learn that Santa Claus had broken a contract with the Darkness Devil. According to this, in exchange for bringing Denji to hell, the Darkness Devil gave Santa Claus a small piece of its flesh to ingest, which then gave her a boost in several abilities, including immense strength in the darkness, something she or her dolls didn't have before. In a similar fashion, there are chances that other devils can also acquire abilities, since we know only fiends are unable to make contracts with humans and or devils. Now, of course, if Pochita had completely devoured the Chainsaw Devil, then the concept of chainsaws would have been forgotten by devils and humans alike, and that's not the case. Moreover, despite eating a part of the War Devil, Pochita hasn't really displayed an ability like her. For example, he can't turn objects or people into weapons. Therefore, we can conclude that Pochita acquired his chainsaws in some other way. But in reality, this is nothing, as Pochita's true identity and power is far, far greater than this, as wielding chainsaws aren't Pochita's only skill. In fact, nobody even cares about that. It's his ability to wipe individual concepts from human memory by eating their respective devil, as revealed to us by Makima in chapter 84, that people truly desire. For example, Makima mentioned that AIDS was forgotten by humanity, meaning Pochita had eaten the AIDS devil. Yeah, no, seriously. In fact, since Pochita ate bits of the War Devil as well, people forgot concepts like World War and nuclear weapons, severely weakening the War Devil in the process. This was the reason Makima simped for Pochita so much, as she dreamt of a world free from all evil concepts humans bring to the table, such as war, hunger, and even death. She wanted to use him to remove pain and suffering once and for all. But again, this makes no sense. Listen, I'm no mathematician, but chainsaws and wiping concepts from human memory doesn't quite add up. Thus, there must be a deeper layer behind this. Why do people forget these concepts? Well, with my degree in anime bullshit science, I found out that it is because Pochita is actually the Forgotten Devil. This explains how he is so powerful. After all, there are 5 fundamental fears, or universal themes of loss, which sum up how all humans perceive danger. They are the fear of abandonment, loss of identity, loss of meaning, loss of purpose, and the dread of death. This connects with Pochita's power in each way imaginable. The first 4 should be self-explanatory, knowing Pochita's power to erase human memory. In fact, in the entirety of part 1, we see Denji struggling against his mental doors, with Pochita telling him not to open them. By the end, we learn, thanks to Makima, that one of these doors was Denji's most traumatic memory of killing his father. This was a memory that had the power to completely break him, which Makima used to her advantage. But for the most part, it was Pochita who repressed it behind a door away from Denji. Whilst this this could simply just be a trauma response from a child, Pochita's involvement and the fact that Denji opening the door led to the severing of their contract hints that perhaps Denji's memory was affected by Pochita's powers. But interestingly enough, it's Pochita's primary power that's the scariest. He alone can truly kill devils. From the early chapters of the story, we know that devils don't die in a real sense. They might get killed in a particular form, but they are then reborn in hell with no memories of their past lives. It is a cycle that continues as long as humans have the fear of any particular phenomenon in their minds. It's what fuels the power of devils. However, once Pochita devours a devil in his true form, the existence of that devil is completely erased from the world, feeding into the final fear being the dread of death. Makima's obsession with controlling Chainsaw Man might have also arisen from the fact that despite being the control devil, she too was in some bits impacted by the fear of being forgotten. Furthermore, loneliness and being forgotten isn't something new when it comes to the other works of Chainsaw Man's author, Tatsuki Fujimoto. He has adopted concepts from his past stories and introduced them into Chainsaw Man before, most notably of course being Nayuta, who has been taken from his previous one-shot called Nayuta of the Prophecy. But most importantly, the themes of loneliness is a recurring topic in which Fujimoto excels. For example, Goodbye Eri, a story that explores the concepts of living with regret about how you will be remembered, tackling each of the 5 fears I previously mentioned. And well, what do you know? These themes are present within Denji's character in Chainsaw Man. From the very beginning of the story, Denji has felt like he has no purpose in life. This was his entire character arc in part 1. He believed he needed a goal to pursue in order to be human. Thus, he chased after titties. I mean, hey, come on, we'd all do the same. But his desire to find a bigger purpose in life has led him to part 2, where he wants to change his perception to the public by making himself a celebrity by exposing himself as the notorious hero Chainsaw Man. He wants to be known around the world, desiring to be loved and remembered. This is of course a masterful hint of irony from Fujimoto, since Denji wants to be remembered whilst being the human form of the forgotten devil. However, Pochita himself revealed a heartwarming wish of his, which is contrary to his nature. He wanted to be hugged, but because of how lethal his chainsaws were and how he would kill anyone around him, his wish remained unfulfilled until Denji saved him. In Pochita's weakened state, Denji hugged him to sleep every night. Pochita is not the only devil with wishes against its basic nature, but could only be lived through humans. Denji's love made Pochita also understand the control devil's desire of attaining a family and genuine love, a relationship based on equality rather than subjugation, which was Makima's primary power. These are desires that all humans can relate to. Nobody wants to be forgotten, and we all want to leave behind a legacy, a mark that we as individuals existed in the long history of humanity. Memories are an integral part of our civilization. We create memories with the ones we love so that we can then reflect on them in times of need. It's a cycle that humans cannot escape. If we are alone, we feel trapped. We have nobody to create memories with and nothing to reflect back on. This trait of loneliness is key in our evolution too. There are certain fears that nearly all humans have in common, such as the fear of snakes, for example. Our ancestors that did not fear dangers died early. Therefore, those fears carried on throughout generations, with the fear of being forgotten topping the list. If we are alone, we die alone, leaving behind no legacy, no memories, and certainly no future. In a very meta way, despite humans forgetting Pochita's devil, the fear of being forgotten still fuels his power, making him incredibly overpowered. In a thematic way too, this makes a lot of sense. Since Pochita represents complete destruction and total annihilation, the only things that could brave them are hopes and dreams. This fear is something that cannot be overcome in any other way by a normally functioning human. Hell, pun intended, even devils fear annihilation the most. Going all the way back to chapter 1, we see that Denji talked to Pochita about his mundane dreams and desires, even hoping his dog would make it out alive. And since Pochita couldn't possibly have his own dreams, he formed a contract with Denji to become his heart in exchange for showing Pochita his dreams. This is in line with Pochita's nature that even when Makima got reincarnated, he asked Denji to take care of her, showing showing us how much importance Pochita gives to dreams. Now, you may think, oh, but ABD, Makima in chapter 6 and even Kishibe referred to Denji as the Chainsaw Devil, so he must be.
Shut up!
Well, listen, it's very rare that this is actually the case outside of those two particular occasions. Throughout the series, most people, such as Pochita's fans like Beam and even Makima as well, refer to him as just Chainsaw Man or just Chainsaw. The reason I believe this to be the case is because they can't recall his true identity. Angel says in chapter 53 that all devils die and end up back in hell only to remember one thing, that being the sound of a chainsaw and nothing more, as after all, Pochita is the forgotten devil. Or well, hey, maybe Fujimoto just wanted to cook up a story about a dude with some cool-ass chainsaws because, I mean, why not? Who's gonna stop him? It's just another case of because the author said so, as is typical with Fujimoto. That is why he is the GOAT. But regardless, if you want to learn more about just how strong Pochita and Denji truly are, then click this video on your screen right now.